All right, so we just made it to Powerhouse in time to eat. It consisted of a very plain grits, which I'm not complaining about because food is food, and then bread with peanut butter. While we were here, the woman that was feeding us, I had a chance to talk to her, and I found out that she used to go out to actually on the streets into Lake Eola to feed the homeless. And she was approached by the cops one day and told that that was illegal and that she couldn't do that. They gave her no warning and took her to jail for 2 weeks for feeding the homeless. Now, if you go to Lake Eola and you feed the swans or the ducks, you're not going to get in any trouble.
That's very true. I didn't think of that. Yes.
That's absolutely ridiculous that these birds have more rights than human beings. Also, on our way here, we had a chance to talk to a couple people. And, there was a fight last night at one of the shelters that actually Tom was staying at a couple days ago, 2 bunks away from where he was. Horrible fight. It was.
We saw the guy's head. He had like a big cut on his head.
10 stitches
it was horrible. But anyway,
it was terrible, and they actually took him to the hospital. Nobody got arrested, but even the shelters aren't safe from the desperation.
And tell him about him waiting, to get his ID, and exactly, he doesn't even have any of his possessions.
They had kicked him out because of the shelter because of the fight, which is understandable. It's unfortunate, but it is understandable. And they wouldn't give him his belongings. He has been sitting out there for, I think he said, an hour or two.
Yeah, well, he's waiting for somebody to show up there.
Yeah, he's waiting for somebody to show up to give him his stuff. Because right now they're holding his possessions, his ID, his clothing, whatever else he may have. They're holding it hostage.
And he can't go there because he's trespassed. And he is lucky he didn't go to jail. But still, he should have been given. I mean, I'm not picking on the shelter for anything that happened. Don't take it that way. We're just telling you the circumstances so you know what this guy's living with.
It does make it harder for him. And like Tom said, it's really not one's really at fault and no one's really in the wrong. But he deserves to have his stuff. God, the little things that I'm learning being out here, things that never would have occurred to me. We'd be completely beet red, sunburnt, burnt, beyond belief if it weren't for going out of our way to cross the street.
Oh, you're talking about shade hopping.
Yep. To stay in the shade for a couple minutes in the trees and then run out of shade just to cross over and stay in the shade from a building. Back and forth and back and forth. And you know what? That alone has to add a couple extra miles to the trek every day.
Well, it's that, or if you were to stay out in the sun, then you'd be sleeping with sunburn on the concrete, and that is no fun. You could see how much sun we get dodging the sun.
It was horrible sleeping on the asphalt at all last night. I could not imagine having to do that with a sunburn. That would have been, oh my God, torture. And I might have mentioned in the previous video, but I just want to reiterate the bugs last night, and even the bugs during the day. We were sitting outside just a few minutes ago, and we were swarmed by, gnats and flies, and it's incredible. This has definitely been an eye-opening experience, and this is definitely something that, I already said it, but it's something I think everybody needs to take the opportunity to experience. And I'm sure that's not tangible. I'm sure not everybody's going to run out and, do this, but it really is making a huge impact being able to be on this side of it and experience and feel the way everybody else does. And I think if everybody were to do this, it would definitely have a huge impact on the compassion of the community, on the treatment of other human beings.
And what we're going to do now, because we're out of time, we're almost at 4 minutes, we're going to make one more video, so give us a minute, we'll upload that.